Welcome back to the Final Shot Podcast. Today on the show, we have the Queen of KO Boxing, Melanie Lubovac. It's been about a year since she's been on, and a little while since I've actually been to a KO card. I took some time off. But Mel, how's it going?
Good. Yeah, I know. I just realized it's been just over a year when I was waiting for you to call me.
Oh, I
I
actually,
didn't mean it in that way. I meant as I was waiting for the phone call to come in for this particular.
yeah, right, whatever. You're doing a little rub there because I sent you a message the other week that I apologize because I've been too busy. I haven't called.
You've been a bad friend.
That's what I said. I've been a bad friend, and I haven't been reaching out to my other friends either. But whatever, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I understand. You have a new baby. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's a little hectic around here with him screaming at me all the time, and then my wife screaming at me, and my daughter screaming at me, and then Adam screams at me 5 times a day.
No, yeah. No,
So
I understand. No worries.
yeah, it's hectic.
We're good.
So what the hell have you been doing?
What, in the last year or in this last little bit?
Well, okay, so recap of the last year. There was some fuckery going on in Edmonton where I took it upon myself to try to wreck somebody else's life, which took over a majority of my life. I ended up wrecking that, and we're here now. And I actually pissed off some of my friends at the same time, but I got the job done, and we're here.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much a nutshell of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't need to talk about that or mention the name. Um, So you've been putting on, how many fight cards have you put on since I've been to the last one? I don't even remember the last one.
I think the last one you were at was the collaboration with Eye of the Tiger, was it not?
Yes, I did the commentary.
Or did you come to Kane Heron and Flavio Michel's fight?
No, I watched that one online.
Okay, so you haven't been to four events then.
Yeah, that's not like me, Derek.
No.
That's not like me to do that and not show up, but we had business to handle and it got handled. So anyway,
And granted, December you were going to come and your wife had the baby, so
yeah, that was a little bit of a trip because October 30th we were driving back from Calgary from a doctor's appointment and her water broke in the vehicle.
yeah.
So we were
And she
rushing.
wasn't due technically until December.
She wasn't due until November 30th, and we had
Oh,
Gunner was born on October 31st.
yeah, so a month ahead. So it was a hectic time for you.
Hey,
But yeah, no, I've done four events since the last one you've been to. Um, two of them with Jelena Mrjanovic, and the last card that I had, Stan Cermak was the main event. Kind of looking at,
yeah,
building up for a future event there.
and then now you have what is this KO Boxing 90 or 89, 80?
89,
Getting close,
KO 89. Yeah.
getting close to 100 shows. That's quite a feat actually.
Well, that's why I started numbering them just because I ran out of names for each card. It was like kind of what UFC ended up having to do after they hit a certain point. They had names for them, and then it was like, okay, now we're at UFC number 200 and what, 40 something. So yeah, they did that. Not that I'm at 200 and something, but it just gets hard to name these events and you start repeating things. So you might as well start numbering them.
Yeah, what are you gonna have? KO Boxing Vengeance 49.
Right? Exactly.
So this one is going to be headlined by Adam Braidwood and Stanley Cermak. Finally,
Yes. Yes. So it's not, don't get me wrong, it's a fight that I think is going to create a lot of buzz. People will should be excited about it, but it wasn't something I wanted to do right now. I had different path for both of them.
mm-hmm.
But things change, and Adam decided to call Stan out. Stan accepted it. There was absolutely no talk to me before any of that happened. So when they did that, I turned around and I said, okay, screw it, let's do it.
It was a fight that was actually mentioned a couple of years ago by Stan's former coach Ken Lacusta. He wanted that fight.
He did. Yeah, it was probably about a year and a half ago. But since then, Stan had a few things that happened in his life, and him and Ken are no longer together. I think they were only together for 2 fights at that time anyway. So things had changed. Then we did talk about it again, and we thought about it. And then after that last discussion that I had with both guys, I looked at doing a different way of something, and it just changed again. This is the type of game it is. Things change and things happen. People call people out, and no one wants to say, no, I'm not going to do it or whatever. So I'm happy the way that it turned out. And, they're both signed to KO Boxing. That's the thing that makes it difficult. It's like, I have to stay neutral, and I've never had to be neutral before.
It's a great fight, and it deserves something else to be added to it, and you did that, right?
Yeah, yeah, I did. It's going to be for a Canadian heavyweight title.
The real one.
The real one, yes. We're not gonna we're not using the CPBC or whatever the hell they call themselves.
Oh, that's a swear word on this show.
What, the CPBC?
Yeah, you said it again. That's worse than saying
Yeah.
fuck.
Okay, well, the swear jar, I'm gonna put some more money in it.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, it's for the real title.
Yeah.
It's for the Canadian heavyweight title. This title has been used, I think it is for 50 some years. The last time, though, a heavyweight title or Canadian title has been in Edmonton was almost 25 years ago. Yeah. So I think even Western Canada almost 25 years ago. It's been a long time that we've had heavyweights here, and now I have a few, right? So it's just, that's the way it happens. But yeah, we added the title on there. I think that the boys enjoy that better, to have something on the line. And I think that people will realize that, hey, these two are, ranked in the top in Canada and deserve to fight each other.
Well, when I look at it, and there's two guys under the same promotion, and they're going to fight each other, there might as well be something on the line and make it worthwhile, especially when
Yeah,
they're number 4 and number 5 in Canada.
correct.
So I like it. That's the first thing I said once the fight was being talked about. I was like, there needs to be a title on the line.
Hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I was working on it. Actually, to be honest with you, nothing's 100% confirmed by the commission. I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Mm.
So everything that we were talking about here, yes, I have everything in place. It just has to be stamped and approved by them, but that takes some time. It's, paperwork and this kind of stuff, but
But
I don't see for any reason why it wouldn't be. They're two top 10 guys in Canada. They're top 100 in the world. So why wouldn't it be acceptable fight between the two?
it's the same boxing bullshit, though. You make the fights, you give it to the commission, they say yes or no.
Yeah, it's like every card. You know what I mean? So I've done world title fights with Jelena on there, and she's fighting top 5 in the world, not
Mm.
even in Canada, top 5 in the world, and I still have to get that approved.
Okay, so when we throw a Canadian title in the mix, there's going to be a few people out there that are going to talk some shit about it.
Hmm.
Because this fight's not going to be a 10-round fight. It's going to be an 8-round fight.
Hmm. Yeah.
So there obviously is going to be the odd person out there that's going to talk some shit. And they're going to say, oh, it's not a real title and all that kind of stuff. So explain to everybody just why it is what it is.
Okay. So the way that it is, when fighters have not been inactive, but not necessarily as active as some other fighters, and they haven't gone past a certain amount of rounds. And this is the thing in heavyweight boxing. They've only, most of the time there's knockouts. So they don't go the full 6, 8 rounds that they've been scheduled for. Sometimes the commission here, not every commission, but this one in particular, will decide that certain fights shouldn't be past 8 rounds, shouldn't be past 6 rounds, shouldn't pass, so that's their decision. I don't want to have to wait on that and then the title say, no, we can't do it because it has to be 10 rounds. And the commission turn around and say, no, I'm not allowing past 8. So what I did was I went to the sanctioning body for the Canadian title and I said to them, listen, I want to do this title. We've done 8 rounds with this title before. I'm not sure if 10 rounds would get passed. So if you're good with it, I'm good with it. this fight isn't gonna go the full 8 or 10 rounds anyway. It's heavyweight boxing, like I said. Someone's going down, someone's gonna stop it. So why wouldn't we just do the title? Another thing is I mean, world titles are 10, 12 round kind of things. So I think that if they're doing 10 or 12 rounds for a Canadian title, I think they're surpassed past that level of doing a Canadian title then. Mm-hmm. Like you're on a world level at that point. Like why would we do 10 or 12 rounds for a Canadian title?
Makes sense. International title fights are usually like 10 to 12 rounds. So most of the time
right.
they're 10.
Right. So international ones are 10 and world ones are 12. Mm-hmm. And I think if we're doing 10 rounds, we're past the Canadian level.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. There, we put that to bed then. Fuck it. Who else is on this fight card? I know you probably don't have the B side lined up yet, but you probably have your A side.
I have some of the A side. I do have Alexander Wojtenko, which is our Ukrainian sensation, undefeated 6-0, super welter or junior middle, whatever you want to call it, depending on how you say it. So 154 pounder. He's 6-0. We're looking at probably putting him as the semi-main event because at this point, you know, he's knocking people out and that's what people want to see. Going to increase his level of opponent for that one. We have Blake Anderson, who's the light heavyweight 2-0. McKenna Tansley, who is our other female fighter. She's 3-0 right now. And those are ones right now that we've confirmed and that I have contracts for. So
perfect. What else are we going to talk about today? Why you're not on camera?
Okay, so yes, we had this planned a couple days ago that I was going to do this, but I have very sensitive skin. Anyone that knows me knows that I have this issue. And MAC, which is the makeup that I use, has changed this type of foundation that I was using. They discontinued that one and have a new, and I'm putting this in quotations, improved version. And I tried it and my skin is almost like it's burnt from it for 2 days of wearing it. So I am not going to go on camera and I can't wear makeup right now because I want my face to heal properly. And so, yeah, no one's going to see me without makeup and really burnt face.
I do have a picture of it. So if anybody wants it, DM me, I'll sell it. Just kidding.
You can't technically see my whole face, so no one knows it's me for sure.
That's true. What I got to go back to the fight card again. So when is the fight?
April 3rd.
At the Shaw Conference Center?
Yeah, it's called the Edmonton Convention Center now, but yes, formerly the Shaw Conference Center.
I know it as the Shaw Conference Center, and I'm very stubborn, and that's how I'm going to say it.
Yes. So yes, April 3rd, Shaw Conference Center / Edmonton Convention Center.
So for folks that are out of town and want to buy tickets, is it still Eventbrite?
No, it's Ticketmaster.
Oh, welcome to the big show. Ticketmaster.
Oh, no, I was Ticketmaster before, then went to Eventbrite and back to Ticketmaster. So.
Well, why did you switch to Eventbrite then? I hate that name. Let's start there.
Because the contract that I had with Ticketmaster was like 20 years old, and they didn't want to live up to the standards or the contract that I had with them, and they started changing things around. So I told them to go screw off. So I went to Eventbrite, but then the Shaw Conference Center has become an exclusive Ticketmaster outlet or home. Mm-hmm. So I have to be on Ticketmaster, but the difference is now I'm on their house account. So I don't have to deal with the politics of it.
Nice. Now, I told you before we started the show, I'm going to send you a picture and I'm going to get your live reaction. You have your phone?
Yes.
Okay, I just sent you the picture. Now, you're going to have to look very carefully at the picture because you've already seen it today. But this is a repost. No, we're just going to wait for Mel to get it. And we'll get her live reaction.
Would have been better if she was on camera.
What I'll do is I'll also send this picture to Derek so that he can put it on the video.
Oh, that was a dick pic.
You get it yet, Mel?
Yeah, I got it. It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. I think it's a mistake, but hey.
It's not the actual signing, but just look at the hairdo. And I sent you this picture
Oh,
already.
yeah. But see, when you sent it to me before, you didn't send me the full picture, right?
No, I sent you a close up, but this is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Okay, for the people who are listening, let's give it some context. What are we looking at?
So you're looking at Group Yvonne Michelle signing Kim Clavel. Now, a week ago, I called Yvonne Michelle the Canadian version of Don King.
Hmm.
So I put Don King's hairdo on him, and then I posted it, and then Mrs. Kim Clavel decided she was going to repost it without looking at the picture, which is hilarious.
Oh, she reposted it for real?
That's why I told you have to look very carefully at the photo.
Well, I looked at it, but I didn't.
So if you actually click on the photo,
Yeah.
oh shit, oh there it is. You got to pull the photo down, but it does say Kim Clavel up there.
Yeah, which you spelt her name wrong.
No, no, I didn't.
Yeah, Kim Clovell, isn't it with a C?
I added her in it, and then she reshared it, so I got it right.
Oh, okay. I thought she was with a Clovell with C, but
Maybe somebody stole her name, but realistically, here, I'll just send you the other part of it so that you can see that I'm not lying. But hilarious that people don't check what they're reposting. They just see that they got
their name and then they repost it. Yeah.
Yeah, hilarious. Sorry, Kim. I actually do like you. I think you're a good boxer, but you made a terrible decision, and I had to rib you a little bit.
Like I read the interviews of why she decided to change and stuff like that, but you know, when it comes down to it, I'm always going to be team Eye of the Tiger. So
Listen, Eye of the Tiger is the biggest promotion in Canada. If you're signed with them, you're golden.
yes,
Why you would give that up to go to a promotion that is notoriously has a hard time with money? Doesn't make any sense.
I don't
to
know.
me. Doesn't make
Yeah,
any sense.
it doesn't make sense to me either. You stick with someone. I mean, they gave her 11 fights in the 2-year period and a North American title. That's very active for a female. Very active. So, you know, you should consider yourself lucky to be with a promotion company that's able to put on a fight card almost sometimes even twice a month, but usually once a month. You should consider yourself lucky because that doesn't happen very often, especially in Canada. And to be a female to have that much action is unreal. And for her to just move over to Yvonne, I mean, good luck to her. But like I said, I'm going to stick by Eye of the Tiger on this one.
Well, if you look at the activity scale of your fighter, Jelena Marjanovic, she's a world champion, WBC, WBA world champion. And for her to be able to get 6 fights like Kim Clavel had in 2019 probably ain't going to happen.
No, but that's also, Jelena's on a different level. And the reason so is world champions usually don't fight more than once or twice a year. It's usually twice a year. It has to do with because you have to cut to a certain weight. You know, the training camps are a lot longer, things like that. So if you go back to look at someone like Floyd Mayweather and things like that, Floyd fought in May and September. So those were usually the biggest days to put fight cards on in Las Vegas, but those are the 2 times that he would fight a year. You wouldn't see him fight in between, really, things like that. So once or twice a year is pretty much what a world champion gets. It's also because it's hard sometimes to find an opponent. Sometimes it's, you know, money negotiating, things like that. So it makes a big difference. For Kim's situation, she was just starting. So you're fighting anyone at that weight class. It's not, you don't have a choice of 10 girls or 5 girls to choose from.
That's true. My bad. Derek, you want to do fan questions?
Yeah, let's do fan questions.
You're talking to the fucking microphone like a professional.
Okay, so this one came in.
Okay.
I'm going to read this verbatim so you can, as it came in.
Okay.
First fan question. I'll be interested to know her thoughts on Mike McWilliams announcing his comeback at 135. I'm going to stop there, and then you can answer, and then we'll continue. It says, again, I'll be interested to know her thoughts on Mike McWilliams announcing his comeback at 135. Is he still under contract? Will he fight here? And your thoughts on him ripping boxing out west after his last loss?
Ripping out west after.
Okay.
Success.
Okay. So Mike McWilliams, I did hear that he's coming back at 135. I have seen him. He looks very skinny. So I can see that he can make 135. I know that he had a modeling contract and had issues before of making weight, but I think he's learned how to cut down now. So 135, that's fine. I mean, whatever weight you're comfortable with. 2, is he under contract? Yes, he is.
Okay.
A contract doesn't expire just because you decide to take some time off. A contract, unless it's fulfilled or that we've actually decided to part ways on that contract, it's still in effect. It's on hold. It's like if you disappear for 2 years and come back and, oh, yeah, no, your contract continues again. You can't just say that you've lived out the contract for 2 years.
Understood.
So it doesn't work that way. So yes, he's still under contract. Will he be fighting here? I don't know. I haven't talked to him. There's times that he talks to me, but then there's times he blocks me. So I'm not too sure. That's something that we can sit down and discuss. And for him ripping, are you talking about like kind of when he was talking smack about out west boxing?
I guess this is how it came in. Yeah, I'm assuming.
Okay. It was after a fight, a defeat. So I'm not going to criticize the stuff that he was saying about it. That's fine. He was upset. Let him say whatever he wants. But I also did hear him say stuff about out east when he came out west, when he moved out west. So I think that it just, he has things to say whether when it doesn't go his way. Let's just put it that way. I have nothing against Mike. If he wants to sit down and talk, let's talk. Let's see what you can do. At this point, I have not heard any confirmed things about him fighting.
I like Mike. I think he's a nice guy. I've had a few conversations with him. I'd be more interested to know why he's not modeling anymore. Have your looks deteriorated? Are you too old for modeling baby gap shit? I don't know what the fuck's going on. Why do you want to get punched in the face?
Why would a fighter block you when you're under contract with them, Mel?
Well, because he was mad over the fight with him and Flavio and thought I set him up, but I didn't set him up. God. He was calling out Flavio. Flavio wanted the fight. So, that had nothing to do with me. I don't know why I would, get put into that situation. I was only but nice to Mike. I thought that I was, but hey, look what happens. People decide to move along and move to other promoters. It's a game. I'm not going to take it personally. I really don't care.
Let's same guy that answered. Next question. Josh Wagner seems to be teasing a comeback. Is it true? Will he train in Edmonton and where? Why did he take so much time off? If rumor true, when will he come back?
Okay, so that's a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a rumor he's coming back. And he's coming back to Edmonton. If everything goes to plan, he will be training at Avenue with my dad, who's Jelena's and Alex's trainer. And possibly will be on the April card.
That solves that.
Yeah. Reason he was off for so long, it was personal reasons. He took some personal time off. He moved back to Ontario to be closer to some family. And I think that he realizes he misses boxing, and that's why he's coming back.
Right. Next question.
I've kept in touch with him. Yeah, we've kept in touch. So, all this time. So I know what's been going on with him, and I think he's in the right place right now. So.
Okay.
Let's talk about KO's plans for 2020. The question came in, your expansion ideas. Will there be a KO Boxing Mexico with the strength of fighters coming out of the Maritimes lately? Will there ever be a KO Boxing Maritimes show? And kind of your thoughts on expansion and what direction you plan on going in 2020?
I don't foresee myself going to the Maritimes. They have their own promoters there. There's a couple of them, and it's a lot easier for the people out of Ontario if they want to move over there to promote. It's hard for someone like myself to expand out there, because I can't be in two places at once. It makes it hard. My home is here in Edmonton, and you do have to be hands-on with this. So, I would want to be out there for a certain amount of time. So no, I don't see the Maritimes. As for Mexico, I don't see myself doing the promotions as a KO boxing only, but I do have friends out there that are starting to promote. And they are the same people that actually end up bringing me some of the teams here. So if they're interested in maybe doing something back and forth, yeah, I'd be open to it, to some of our fighters to go out there and fight. Yeah.
Perfect. Let's let's scroll through these questions a little bit. These ones are a little lighter. Now we kind of get in the light stuff. We went pretty deep. One of the fans was asking if there's a KO boxing store, a swag store, T-shirts, hats, something that he can wear to promote you.
No, we used to years ago, but you know what the problem was there? It was before social media. So it wasn't, websites weren't a big thing to go and look at. Social media wasn't around. So a lot of the stuff that we had, it just kind of filled up my office space. It was MMA. And then after we got into MMA was more of the type of sport that would have all those kind of things. And we did have swag for them, and we did have an online store for our MMA company. But boxing was never big with that. Like, I know some companies are starting to do that. I know Eye of the Tiger likes to have their stuff, and they like to brand their fighters in it. So they've started doing that, and Lee Baxter down east does that with some of his stuff. So, there's a possibility for the future. At this moment, no.
Do you have any retros kicking around? Do you have any old ones?
No. So funny thing is, I just moved from my office, and I threw out things that were just piling up in boxes. I don't have the room, and some of it's probably so old that if you open it up, probably fall apart.
Yeah, for sure. Let's get under this one's kind of dicey, and it goes like any boxing promotion, money comes into play, and it seems to be a common question. I think whoever asked this in Instagram here, it's under a fake name, probably was watching a lot of UFC when they talk about fighter pay. So they wanted to basically know, what's the biggest card you've ran? How is fighter pay determined on your cards? And what's the biggest purse or stuff like that? So whatever you're comfortable talking about, just talk about, I guess, a generalization of how payment works for a fighter at that level with your card.
Okay, so let's just start with how it is in general. When you're paying a fighter, it all depends on, first of all, how many fights have you had? Are you a pro debut? How many rounds you're going? How many amateur fights you've had? If you were an Olympic fighter, obviously that's going to make you at a different level than a guy that's had 10 amateur fights. So everything comes into play there. Once you start moving from the 4-rounders and the 6-rounders, you're coming into 8s and 10s and stuff like that. That also comes into play of your opponent. Like, I have no problem in adding a little bit money into the purse if you're fighting a decent opponent. But if you're looking, I need a warm-up fight. Well, what am I paying you to have a win? Like,
right.
You're gonna get your purse of what's the standard. But there's so many different factors in when you're paying a fighter. It's all about negotiating too. I mean, some fighters are going to get paid more than others, and it all comes down to, there's a bunch of reasons why,
Right, and that kind of moves into the next question. You referenced social media. Now, do you find that social media is a burden or just a place where you can really rapidly expand your business now? Or do you require fighters to self-promote the fights, or is there a clause in there? How does social media affect your business model now?
I think social media, it's kind of one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't type things. So social media, yes, it's great because you can put pictures out there, you can put posters and videos, and people like to see that. So it gets people entertained and come on your Facebook page and Instagram page to look at new stuff. I think that's the great portion of it. The bad portion of it, I think that fighters have become lazy since social media has come out. And I just remember that I've been around before social media was doing this. and fighters hustled more. They came in and they were like, hey, I need 50 more tickets because I just sold 100 tickets. Now it's like, give them 100 and they're bringing you 50 back. And I think it's because they rely too much on social media instead of actually going out there and hustling it.
The amazing part about social media is it's free advertising too.
Mm-hmm.
You use the power of social media. Adam and I did it with the Simon Keane fight. It worked fantastic. You do it when you post your posters. It's free. You're not going out and fucking hammering posters on light poles or dropping them off at bars or strip clubs. It's kind of fun, but at the same time, I can see how guys will get lazy. Hey man, come hit me up for tickets. Cool, call me.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, they tend to post things on there and think that's enough by saying, I'm fighting, hit me up. No, where before it would be like, see somebody, have tickets in hand, I'm fighting, buy a ticket.
No, we've done the roll around Edmonton too, trying to sell tickets with Adam, and that's a trip and a half in itself.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We got 2 questions left. These are pretty light. These are pretty light and fun. There's a rumor on the interwebs that somebody quit smoking.
Yes.
Okay, since both myself, former smoker myself, cold turkey, are you vaping? Are you doing the Champix and having nightmares, or what was your strategy?
No, I've tried all of that stuff before.
Yeah.
I've tried the Champix thing, and it didn't give me nightmares or anything like that. Yes, did I quit? December 7th was the last time that I actually physically bought a pack of cigarettes. Yeah. So the way that I did it, it was cold turkey. And what I ended up, when I started getting some cravings, I did end up getting one of those vapes, not those fancy ones with the liquid that comes and all that kind of stuff. It's more like an e-pen kind of thing that you just get at the Mac store, so that I can just do that for times that I feel a little bit of a craving, so I don't decide to go out and buy a pack of cigarettes and then just start all over again. So yeah, it's been okay. I'm okay that I did it. I'm glad that I did. It was more of a push from my dad, which I kind of played the whole "what do you mean I smoke" thing.
Dad catch you?
He didn't catch me, but one day it was just weird. It was before Christmas and it was before my December 6th event. And he just said to me, so, you know, I was going to ask you for something for Christmas, and which was weird because my dad never asks anything for Christmas. And if he wants it, he just goes and gets it. He's not a big believer of this whole gift exchanging thing for Christmas. So I was like, sure, what would you like? And he's like, for you to fucking quit smoking. Yeah, and I was like, me? What? What are you talking about? And he's like, don't play stupid. Quit smoking. You know, you're my kid, and I hate to think that something could happen to you before I even pass. And it kind of hit home there, and I was like, you know what? He's right.
Good for you. That's all.
We're
Yeah.
happy for
It's good for you.
Yeah.
And then the final question, which got there's 6 of them here, and I'm gonna ask. I don't want to ask it, but I will.
Okay.
When is the Tanner Wilshaw bad guy gonna be on a KO boxing card? This came in different formats. I'm definitely putting you on the spot, but I don't know. I didn't even tell Tanner I was gonna ask this. So if it gets weird in here, which it is, it's fine. I'll probably get yelled at on the way out. But yeah.
Okay, so Tanner, April 3rd.
Yeah, let's do it.
April 3rd. There's been, you know, there was somebody that contacted me that's been wanting to fight Tanner. I approached Tanner with it, and he said, if this guy can make this weight, I'll do it. So, you know, we've had a discussion about it. It wasn't actually 100% confirmed. So now that he said it, yeah, okay.
Okay.
April 3rd.
I wish I could see your face right now. Oh, this is good. This is good. Okay.
It's probably oh shit, we're not doing a press conference.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, that kind of sums up some of the fight questions.
Okay.
Covered a lot. A lot of the other stuff, yeah, is kind of wishy-washy. But yeah, we covered the social media, the payment, the smoking stuff. I wanted to touch on the boxing swag, what's happening with the card, your status, and if your room is plus 30 right now. That is based on the last podcast we did where you keep your rooms at extreme high temperatures, and it is hot in here right now. It made me think of that.
Yes, it is at 30.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
And
I'd die.
yeah. And then that kind of went into talk to us about your love of the color black. I have not seen a picture of you.
Who sends these questions in?
You would be amazed what I didn't ask. So,
yeah,
You can ask you can ask anything. I really don't care.
There's just they're not appropriate for any type of show.
No.
So, yeah, I would.
For real?
Yeah, just silly, stupid shit.
Mel, you have to remember the amount of retards, and I use that word strongly, that we have to listen to this show.
So
okay.
Yeah.
The love of the color black. I don't know. I just feel comfortable in black. Everything.
The man in black.
Yeah, I know everything I have is black. I have about a walk-in closet with 70% of it being black, and I have probably 10 dresses that look the same. But that's what I like.
Well, you probably got used to it in the filming of the movie The Addams Family when you played Morticia.
So, yeah. So funny thing is, I did take my niece to go see the latest Addams Family, and she's always in black, and she's very pale and stuff like that. And my niece turns around, and she's like, "Teddy," which means auntie. That's kind of like you, hey?
Whoa! I wouldn't know if I like that or not.
Burn.
I was like, yeah, that's it, babe.
That's funny. We have any more questions?
You know what? One's coming in live right now.
Shit.
And it's referencing again, a lot of these questions are based on UFC style questions. Basically, the Bellator versus UFC. Have you ever had a situation where you would take champ of your organization versus a champ of another organization? Is that a possibility? Has it done in the past? Or is it something, the Tiger champion versus a KO boxing champion, a Dakota versus a KO, that type of thing?
Well, I mean, this happens all the time.
Okay.
When you're at a certain level, it happens all the time. Promotions have to do those kind of things because otherwise you're not fighting the best. And the way that it is with boxing is it's not UFC or Bellator where you're only fighting the people within your organization. This is worldwide. So when you get to the point of having your top ranked guys, if you have a champion, they're going to have to fight someone else who's most likely a champion for another promoter. It just really depends on who has more money to put that together, who has more money to put that event together, who has those kind of things. So that's where it comes down to. Now, have I put fighters on against other promotions fighters? Of course. Adam and Simon Keane or Simone Keane, that was one example. Flavio Michel is going to be fighting in Quebec on the Eye of the Tiger card against one of their fighters. Flavio here fought against Lee Baxter's King Heron. So, we do those kind of things. Sometimes we put fighters on other people's cards, not against their own, just to keep our fighters busy. So they, we do each other favors, or I shouldn't say we do each other favors. Most promotion companies do not get along. I happen to be very lucky where I have a good relationship with Camille Estefan from Eye of the Tiger, and I have a good relationship with Lee Baxter from Lee Baxter Promotions. So we help each other out, kind of thing. Most people do not do that.
I noticed a common theme though, and it was Flavio Michel. He's gone to Dakota. He's going to Eye of the Tiger. He's gone to Lee Baxter.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not like Flavio?
No, the reason I do it because I do like him. It's because he likes to take chances and he wants to take fights that interest him and things like that. Now, usually, yes, I wouldn't let my fighters just go everywhere and be like, fight here, fight here, and you're going to lose. Obviously, certain fights I believe that they can win. It just depends with Flavio which Flavio comes to fight. Now, his fight with Devin Reddy was a complete disappointment. I thought that he could have done better than that. Clearly, he didn't. I don't know the reasons. I believe that, he didn't train as much as he could have, or maybe he wasn't running. Maybe he wasn't telling his coach everything. I don't know. Now, his fight with Kane Heron, Flavio looked great. It was a standing ovation. People loved the fight. And it was a close fight. Do I think that it could have been a draw? I do. But sometimes when you're a champion of something, the judges don't usually, try to take that away from you. If you're the champion, you stay the champion kind of thing. So yeah, and then as for the fight in Quebec, I think Flavio has a chance there. The kid that he's fighting is Sebastian Roy, and he has an undefeated record, but he has no punching power. One fight out of 8, so yeah, I think that Flavio does have a chance there, but it just again depends on which Flavio comes out.
That's true. Flavio's kind of like the Vitor Belfort of KO boxing. You never know who the fuck's going to show up. Which...
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a bad thing. All right, let's wrap this thing up before my wife comes down here and stabs me. April 3rd, KO Boxing, Edmonton Convention Center, not the Shaw Conference Center. Tickets will be available where?
Ticketmaster.ca.
At the door?
Or at the door, they'll be available at the door night of. Ticketmaster.ca before that, or you can call our office.
Or any of the fighters on the card will probably have tickets.
Yep, they'll have tickets as well.
Main event, Adam the Boogeyman Braidwood versus Stan the Silverback. What is it, Arumata?
No, Cermak. He's not. It's just Cermak.
Okay, why the fuck are we always saying Arumata then?
He did go by both before, and that's because he was using both his mother and father's last names.
Sorry,
it was
Stan.
hyphenated. Yeah, it was hyphenated, so he's just going by his father's last name.
Stan the Silverback Cermak. There'll be a host of other people on that card. Come check it out. April 3rd. Anything else, Mel?
No, I think you got it all.
And that's the final shot.